Hello, everyone. My name is Alejandro Villegas Sieber, or Alex if it's easier. It doesn't matter to me. I hope that you all are staying healthy, grounded, and thinking for yourselves. Because if the last couple of years have taught us anything, it's that through all this psychological warfare, hypnosis techniques, and propaganda, our freedom and our future truly does rest on the shoulders of free thinking men. So I'm calling upon you, brothers, to come together, to support one another, to hold each other accountable, to challenge one another, to share, and to commit to becoming better people, better partners, better fathers, better sons, better healers. I received this calling a long time ago, and through the busyness of things, I put it on the back burner. But about 2 weeks ago, I received a very powerful, crystal clear vision from a sacred tree that I visit sometimes that told me the time is now. So I want to share that I am going to make myself available to host a men's circle, an online call for now, on the second Saturday of every month, starting next Saturday. So that'll be Saturday the 9th. Friends, if you know me, I probably miss you. And you guys out there who don't know me, I would love to get to know you. There's lots to talk about, important things to talk about. So this is my informal but very heartfelt invitation to please join me. Next Saturday we will meet at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, 12 Eastern Standard Time, for an hour. And I want to be clear that I'm not trying to sell you on anything. This isn't some marketing thing, and I'm not going to try to sell you on some master class or whatever bullshit. I'm so sick of hearing that everyone is fucking selling online all the goddamn time. No, this isn't like that at all. This is simply friends and brothers coming together to have a safe space to process, to have confidential conversations. And like I said, basically just really share the tools that we have to help make one another better people. There's nothing special about me. I'm just a dude. But I'm a dude that's lived through a lot. I've dealt with a lot of loss, a lot of heartache, a lot of illness. And along the way, I've picked up a couple of tools, a few skills that I'd love to share. But the other reason is because I personally really need this. As some of you know, I'm pretty new to Texas, and I left my community in Georgia behind and North Carolina. And since I've been here, I've been pretty much a hermit. I've had my nose to the grind. It really has nothing to do with the pandemic. I've just been really grinding away at crafting these new business ventures that I'm on the process of launching. So I haven't met a lot of people, And I'm also very fucking picky when it comes to people, especially men. I have a very low tolerance for shadowy motherfuckers, for people that try to manipulate people, for people that don't do their work, and for people that try to manipulate women more than anything. I have a very, very low tolerance for that. So I'm very, very picky as to who I allow into my inner circle. And that serves me well, and I don't want to change that. But I do feel a calling to have more healthy male energy around me. And the time is now. I don't want to waste it. I don't want to postpone it. So I'm really cordially inviting you to please join me starting this Saturday. And let's just come together and let's see what organically arises from this. It's free. And my vision is that we can start off online. Again, right now, unfortunately, I'm personally in a situation where I don't know a lot of people in this city, so I have to reach out to my community out there, and let's create a little bit of traction with these calls, and hopefully over time we can build up enough people that we can actually break off into groups and actually start to do stuff personally in our own home cities. But for now, I know we're all burnt out on Zoom, but that's the best we got. And let's come together and see what kind of magic we can create. There's nothing formal about this, and like I said, my invitation to you joining us has nothing to do with you coming and learning from Alex. That has nothing to do with it. On the contrary, my only role in these calls is going to be as a space holder. So I'm always going to open the call. I'm going to close the call to keep in line with the ritual aspect of sacred work and for continuity. But other than that, everything will be free-flowing, and we will take turns sharing experiences, sharing tools, and I'm sure that collectively we can create a really, really beautiful energy. There's a lot of topics I want to cover, so the main thing that I feel called to do is to come together and really simply share, just share. I think that as men, that is something that we so desperately need, and especially when it's hard stuff, right? When it's stuff that charges us with emotion, because we're supposed to put on this face, this facade when we walk around, and especially if we have families, and we need to be the tough ones. But seldom do we have a safe space to really be vulnerable and fall apart and be held by people like us. So that's first and foremost what I would like to create. I'm personally right now and have been dealing with some hard things, so I could use the support. And as I stated before, I think that I've been fortunate enough to have worked with some amazing teachers and amazing healers, and I've picked up a tool or two along the way that I would love to be able to share. So topics we will be covering is emotional things. Let's talk about relationships. I want to talk about working out, and when we get to that point, we need to figure out a way to actually go out and do this in the real world, because we need to challenge our bodies as much as our minds. I want to talk about self-defense. I want to talk about self-reliance. And what are the things that we can and should be doing to keep our partners and our families safe? To start to think a little bit more broadly about what's happening in the world and take it out of our own individual little, bubble of whatever chaos or struggles we're dealing with in our life, and look at the bigger picture. Where are we headed? How are the choices that we're making today, how are they impacting the future generations? And right now, more than ever, this shit's important, guys. This shit is really fucking important. We cannot afford to keep our heads in the sand anymore. There's some bad shit happening in the world. Some of you guys are waking up to it. Some of you guys are fully awake to it. But a lot of people are still asleep. And so it's time to wake up. Seriously, like fucking get out of that slumber, get out of the fucking hypnosis, pay attention and have the capacity truly to tackle these topics that are pretty fucking big. Yes, there are people dying, there are people suffering. So we can't afford to look the other way. And in my opinion, this is a very humble and very natural, easy, attainable way to start to inch our way forward into the future that we want. Let's come together. Let's form a community. Let's support one another. Like I said, an important part of this, hold each other accountable. And let's create a safe space to be men. And all of the facets of what it means to be men. The good, the bad, the ugly. If any of you know me, I shouldn't have to say this, but obviously I'm not limiting this to only men. If you identify as a male, or if you're simply interested in talking and delving into these typically male dynamics, you're welcome. Everyone's welcome. Just be aware, that we will have a bunch of dudes, so don't be intimidated by a sausage fest. But really, I meant to keep this short, and I'm rambling, so I'm sorry about that. But really, the core of this message is I want to invite you all to this call. The first one, as I said, is going to be this Saturday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. It's going to be Saturday, April 9th. It's free. It's a Zoom call. I will put the link below, and just go in and sign up and join us. There's no commitments. Now, obviously, anybody that chooses to come to the calls, I would encourage you to try to see if we can keep it make it an ongoing thing. Why? Because progress takes time, and so some of the things that we will discuss will require practice, will require some homework. So it would be in everyone's best interest to keep coming back to it. Right? But that said, there's no commitment. So if you can make it one weekend and you can't the other, that's fine. It's not a big deal. But please do your best to join me, and let's create some magic together. Now, I really want this to evolve organically, so I don't want to put a hard structure on the way this is going to go. But I think that a beautiful thing would be to really tie a topic of conversation around each call. And I will do my best to announce what that topic is ahead of time so that you guys can percolate with it, think about experiences and tools and maybe resources, books that you might want to share, so that you show up to the call already prepared to dive into that topic. For this Saturday, the topic is going to be humility. It is a topic that's very much alive and well and vibrant in my field as of late. And it's a very goddamn important topic. It's important because it's grossly misunderstood in this culture. And we have been raised to believe that to be vulnerable or be humble is to be weak. Oh boy, no. It's the complete opposite of that. There is power. There is great power in humility. To truly be able to show up with our hearts open, vulnerable, humble, willing to learn, willing to accept our mistakes is a game changer. And in my opinion, it's actually the clearest mark of maturity. When we're young, all we care about is being right. Chests are big, big egos. We go into it, we argue. All we care about is coming out on top. But as we grow older, and as life humbles us, and as we go through breakups, divorces, we learn a thing or two. And we learn that the only way to grow is to be humble. As a matter of fact, I would say that most relationships end when one of the two parties, or both parties, lose the ability to be humble. Because rarely, in any conflict, is only one person at fault. So to be able to have the strength and the clarity of mind to sit strong and admit that we made mistakes, to have the strength to say, I'm sorry, I fucked up. And I'm committed to learning from this. I'm committed to changing. That changes things. That changes things. Humility, the power of humility. Let's dive into that. I think this is a very important topic for everyone. Especially important, I think, for dudes. We're hard-headed. But here's the thing. Without humility, we might win the argument. We might win the fight. We might come out on top of the business deal. We might win the lawsuit. But at the end of it, if we haven't learned from the things we could have done better, did we really win? Think about it. Please join me. Let's talk this Saturday. I love you guys.